we'll see.
It brightened.
It did. Okay, folks. On behalf of Cecil, the poster primate for PTSD, back in the basement.
I'm always afraid I'm going to get hit by flying monkey parts when you do that.
Something could be arranged. Okay, to keep the heat on, because damn, donate here. If you like really good coffee, talk to Dave at King Harv's. Tell him we sent you. Really nice guy, really good coffee. You can actually get our blend coffee there now.
And to frighten you, I have ordered our blend coffee in an espresso grind.
And as always, yes. Okay. Let's see here. To start out with, what are we starting out with?
I think we're probably starting out with the Prometheus.
Oh, yes, we should, because John Manstraw is on here somewhere.
Because giant eagles eating livers.
Are they monkey livers?
Depends on your theory of evolution.
Shit. Okay.
So we have the Prometheus nominees came out, and not one, not two, but three of
North
the
Texas.
authors are connected to North Essex troublemakers. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase that. One of them is
We claim them.
We claim them.
They bounced through the NTTM Facebook page.
We claim them, even from Tasmania.
So
Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Tasmania, you know.
Yeah, the three of them are John Van Stry with Summer's End, which came out from Baen and is an excellent read.
It's a really good read.
Yeah, it's really good science fiction, harks back to the golden age of science fiction, but it has excellent characterization, which you don't always get.
I'm going to make John very embarrassed. It reminds me a lot of Highland's Juveniles.
Yes,
Yeah,
without
yeah,
being
very
a
much.
juvenile.
Very
Yeah,
much so.
yeah. No, I definitely would compare it favorably to Heinlein.
Oh, yes.
So then the other one is Dave Freer's Cloud Castles, which is...
I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, and I haven't either. My husband read it, and he enjoyed it. And
I was a
coming
beta
from
reader.
Sanford.
I get it for all y'all. It was so good.
And then the last one is Carl Gallagher with the fourth book in his series. And Carl, being what he is, and a scientist and an engineer brain, his stuff, don't get thrown off by the pastel book covers. These are hard science fiction. These are good space opera, nitty gritty. He's good. So, and I feel like you should do the next one because if I do it, it's tooting my own horn.
Toot away. Jim Curtis's anthology Twisted Tropes dropped today.
Yes.
Let's see if we.
In it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cedar's in it.
I have a story in it.
So y'all need to go take a look at that one.
So I don't know if Jim didn't catch it or if he just decided that he wasn't going to say anything about it. But my main character in the Twisted Tropes story I wrote is a gender bent Jim Curtis.
Oh my God.
Now y'all really have to read it. Now you really have to buy it.
No, I mean it's what happens if they show up for the chosen one of prophecy and they're there 60 years too late and she's a grandmother.
I like David's comment. Does she have a mustache?
You know what? That is between a lady and her grooming products.
My little sister wants to know if Jim realizes he published a reverse harem story, Twisted Tropes. Probably not.
Jim, yes, I'm sure he did.
I don't know.
Jim's not exactly innocent.
No, but sometimes he gets a little focused.
Misses the obvious.
Yeah.
Cedar is dressed up because we will be recording an episode, possibly two, of the broadcast. And while for live from the blanket fort, we generally don't care what we look like. Broadcast, we feel like we have standards to live up to.
What do you mean we have standards?
Not going there.
There were standards. Nobody told me about the standards.
You set the standards. We're living up to you.
Oh. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Oh Lord!
It was a lovely day. Courtney went to watch something pretty.
All the men are backing away from the keyboards right now.
This is really good coffee.
answer a question upstream about Kelly Grayson,
Oh.
who just came out with Cecil the Combat Wombat.
Yes.
Which will be followed, and I know these things because I'm his cover artist, with Tales of the Rougarou.
Oh, he wrote that one for
Trailer Park.
Trailer Park.
I thought so from what he spec'd for the cover. The night at the furry convention was an April Fool's joke.
However,
to the best of my knowledge, he's not currently writing it, but he is a man that could bow to peer pressure.
yes, he could. If y'all want to read One Night at the Furry Convention, hit up Kelly Grayson.
Oh my god.
I forget what exactly the specs were on that, but I was like,
Specs?
well, when he asked me to do the cover.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, above and beyond can you do this right now in the morning of April Fool's?
Because he had a good idea.
I turned it around in about 20 minutes once I got the art set.
And that's why she's the Raconteur Press in-house art person.
But my first thought was, no, I can't do that because it'll get him kicked off Facebook and possibly me too, just guilt by association.
It's Kelly.
Ben, he was the one that was being really sweet about promoting me, and he put that in with the other covers because I did design it. So
I wiped him out one time on a furry convention joke, and he has never let me forget that.
The funny thing is, the one furry convention I've worked was actually a lot of fun. It was a small con, and it was mostly young kids, and it was not focused in the adult direction. They were just having fun, and they were all showing me how they built their fursuits, which was it was cute.
That's some work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Oh my gosh.
Jesse, that's actually the joke I broke Kelly with. Me and a furry convention, probably not a good idea.
It reminded me of a conversation I had with Krista.
Honestly, I think the furry stuff should be for kids. Like, it's adults that go and ruin stuff because it's supposed to be fun and dress up and play.
Right, it is. And I mean, you actually have a fursona.
Okay.
Because all the
So I need to trim it?
Also, again, what's between a man and his grooming products?
Yeah, I'm going back to a beard. I
Deals
swear
for
to
that. I'm sorry, I'm done.
They sell what?
We broke Kortnee.
I've been behaving very well today. Thank you very much.
Oh, not with all those ads you've been showing me.
No.
Oh no, I've been behaving with those ads. Because I haven't shown him.
No.
You showed me enough. Everyday wear. I'm just living in the wrong place.
Carlton, the pink gorilla, yes, absolutely. But it's more the anthropomorphic foxes I was talking about.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. The kids excited to show how they did their costumes, and they should be excited. I mean, especially when you're getting into talking about how to make the human foot look like a hoof. And that involves some serious engineering to be able to walk around comfortably on top of that.
Oh yeah. That's some serious skill.
Right.
Yeah, it's
so if it were just about that, it would be a lot of fun and we wouldn't be making these jokes. But then again, I mean,
adults got involved.
The predators got involved. It's not even the adults, because you can be an adult and still have a childlike sense of wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Witness most of the people in this room.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the reason why I probably don't need to do furry conventions. Is I worked organized crime way too long.
Yeah, and you'd be able to pick it out. I mean, in amongst the group of just kids having fun, there's the sharks going after the blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is unfortunate.
Like, it takes a very small minority to wreck something really fun and wonderful.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's also adult furry stuff, and more power to them. They're having a good time, and everyone's consenting. So.
Right.
It's the people who prey on those who feel like they're not that are awkward and don't feel they're
and when a furry and shark suit goes flying over the third floor balcony, everybody's gonna be looking for me.
Yes.
You know, 20 years ago, when I first started telling the story of the pink gorilla suit, I said, Self, you're going to regret doing this one of these days.
That day seems to have passed.
Every day.
Oh, Jesse, every girl crazy about her shark-dressed man.
Okay.
As long as there's consent for the biting.
Yes. No biting without consent.
No biting without consent.
The kitten didn't consent when I didn't have consent earlier when the kitten bit me and drew blood.
No, you signed a consent form when somebody hands you the cat. At the same time when you got the invisible sucker across your forehead.
They're temporary kittens. Well, one of them is staying permanently, but
Well,
the
as-
other ones are going
They're all
away.
Temporary kittens. They don't stay kittens forever.
This is true. They will grow up into be cats.
So apparently we're punning today.
Oh my god.
Have we fallen to that level?
Jesse beat us to the basement, apparently. Say hi to Cecil when you get there. Tell him to get his monkey ass back in the cage.
I know that the timing is horrible. It would never happen, but it would be a lot of fun to have Jesse on this one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
In person.
Oh, yeah.
Mic'd
Oh,
up.
I'm going to make that happen one of these days.
Jesse's
Surprise!
Jesse's coming to Fool's Con.
This is true.
Do you know how
This
many
is true.
people we're going to have at the Fool's Con?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Cass?
we plan to ambush interviews, so
Yeah, the Fool's Con blanket fort's going to be epic.
Yes. Also, if any of y'all are coming to Fool's Con, I have been asked to bring the camera and do portraits for people that want like headshot type things. So
sorry, small bigger.
I don't have the lighting, but we can do it outside on the porch area. There's some spots out there that we can do some nice semi-professional stuff. I'm not a professional photographer, but I can do some stuff.
Have you ever sold any photographs?
Yes.
You're a professional photographer. Moving on.
And I once won a cash award.
Professional means you got paid for doing it.
The cash award was $5 in an envelope for People's Choice at
Photography,
Home
Jesse.
Day.
And what? What's-
He's like, Jesse, by headshots, are we talking about photography or range day? I'm like, Jesus.
Photography. I do get asked occasionally what caliber for butterflies.
We're
because
going
I-
to get demonetized.
about-
Oh, wait. We're not monetized to begin with.
There's a reason we're not
There's a reason for
monetized.
that.
So we don't have to worry about these
You,
things.
you know Frank's sitting with his finger on the smite button, right? Sweet, across the line, click.
Oh,
Click.
oh, Ag Tiger, I'm so sorry. We didn't have to figure out a way to.
No, we do announce it, but not everybody notices.
Right.
so.
Well, we do announce
I
it.
told everybody on
announced it-
Tuesday.
But the problem, well, there's that. But the other problem is we do a lot of these announcements on Facebook, and not everybody's on Facebook.
So apparently next Thursday's live stream is going to be to a full house. So we have to clean.
Oh yeah.
I think we just got voluntold.
Clean. Full house.
We were born demonetized.
Yeah, no kidding.
Brian, if you take that word apart a little bit.
Brian needs to listen to the last 10 minutes of the
broadcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
Brian, you did come up in the broadcast last night.
no
so
pun intended.
Brian, you don't know.
Actually, we do.
Let's get into some personal details I didn't need to know about.
We just want to add an accessory to the Bubba truck. So
Yes.
I really don't want to know.
no, you probably don't.
No, I
Dr.
do
Mike,
not.
You don't listen to the broadcast.
I tried. No. No. Thank you. I'll pass.
When Ian's done extracting the last drop, isn't that Folgers? I forget which ad that was.
Folgers, yes. That was good.
You know, we're talking about all this and getting into the naughty bits. And I had said
Getting
it.
into the naughty bits.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
We're absolutely doing phrasing. So I had dragged my husband against his better judgment, and the poor man made a tactical error, because I said I want to go to the book sale at the library after work. And
Oh,
he's
he
like,
should have expected that.
well, yes, he was. And he said, okay, let's walk over there, because it's only a block and a half from the house. And I was like, okay, that's
To be
a plan.
fair, most of the small towns are a block and a half from your house.
We did pick a good location. So I was fine with walking over there. And then he said, no, let's take the truck. So we went to the book sale at our tiny town library is actually in a small house.
Hmm.
And all of the rooms are full of books and records and DVDs and I don't know what all they have in there. So I probably would have just grabbed a couple of cookbooks, because they did have a lot of cookbooks. But we had the truck.
Oh, yeah. He ain't dumb.
So, no, because he's the one that suggested taking the truck. He committed a tactical error.
Nope. He knew what was going to happen. I'm not carrying a half of that library home. Get the truck.
So we wound up talking a little bit with the librarian, because she was taking care of the book sale while we were there. And she had taken paper grocery sacks and filled them full of books and stapled the top shut. And on the side of them was written either mystery grab bag $1 or romance grab bag $1. Do you need to make yourself more coffee?
No, I'm okay.
Because that's a very sad expression.
Yeah.
So I bought a romance grab bag as research. That's a broadcast topic. But I bought the mystery grab bag because my husband actually was eyeballing it, and I thought it might be amusing. So over dinner last night, because we had Jonna and Kortnee, so it was the four of us, we were opening grab bags and looking through what was in them. The mystery one that we bought turned out to have about a dozen hardcover mysteries in it. And some of them, I mean, most of them were not names I recognized. There was a Baldacci in there, and there was one other author that I actually recognized the thing. But there were three of them that were, dare I say, given the conversation in North Texas Troublemakers group, they were vintage. Which means that they were published in the early 70s, two of them. And one of them was published.
Oh, dear.
One of them was published in, I believe it was 1966. And I was looking at the end papers, at the blurb of the book, and the phrase Sodom on the Pacific hopped out at me. And I went, wait, what? So then
San Francisco.
Then I open up the frontispiece of the book, and there was a piece of art there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you should have brought
That was
in.
gorgeous.
It was really kind of special.
It was very special and very, very naked. Lots of naked. It wasn't even cover art, James. This would not have flown as cover art. It was inside the cover.
1970s naked?
Yes, 1970s naked. Not Rubenesque. There were a lot of them. It was a tree made out of little naked figures.
If you've ever seen the coffee cups that had the little humping bunnies.
Well, that went left in a hurry.
That was the mystery grab bag, John.
That was the mystery grab bag. That was not the romance grab bag.
Romance, that one was hilarious.
Yeah, the romance grab bag wound up spinning off its own whole thing. But the mystery grab bag was like, I was like, are we sure this is a mystery? One of the other vintage ones actually used the term Jewish princesses. And I'm a little afraid to read that one.
Oh, the 60s. How we don't miss you.
But that's the thing, is we're actually more straight-laced now than we were, because I've come across some of the novels that came out in that era, and scary stuff.
Well, actually, that's debatable whether we're more or less straight-laced. In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. There's
Yeah, that's true.
what was considered edgy in the 70s, which I remember because I grew up around a bunch of oilfield engineers. What we consider edgy in the 60s and 70s is kind of amusing these days.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. Somebody just brought up Mickey Spillane, and so I wound up reading all of the non-Hammer Mickey Spillane books because Sanford doesn't like Mike Hammer. So, like all the Tiger Man books, and they were considered smutty at the time, but now when you read them, it's hard to kind of put it into words. It's not cute because it's very trying to think of the right word for this. Sweaty. they're I mean, it's obviously sex, but it's not like glamorized sex kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So because they're action thriller novels, they're not revolving around the romance. Mm-hmm. So the romance is there, but it's more the James Bond girl kind of stuff. Slam
bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, pretty much. And usually wind up dead because it's Tiger Man. And he gets a girl and then she dies, and then he gets another girl and then she dies, and so
then there's
on.
vengeance.
Right.
Oh my God.
We have started the chat down into bad places.
Hey, you brought up the book.
I did bring up the book. It was one of those things of I was not expecting that.
Oh, that spinning sensation is us going down the drain. My bad. Okay then, moving on. As he desperately looks for something to move on to.
No, actually, I think we can segue from Ian Fleming into writing what you know.
Oh boy, that's going to just not go anywhere good in this neighborhood.
Let's not.
You do not want me to write about what I know.
There's a lot of people who will pay you not to.
You keep insisting that you're not going to write.
I am not going to write.
Because if you are going to write, then...
Writing about what I know is good for about 50 years in federal pen.
In about 15 years, I'm going to write my memoirs. Everyone's going to go, oh my God, really? Yeah, which really should be the title. So.
Being as you know where all the bodies are buried, it helps bury half of them.
In a variety of different communities.
Okay. If you're keeping track of the blog, I put up a post yesterday. I was planning for this, and somebody jumped the gun on me. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I've been feeling kind of guilty about the lack of content on my blog, with everybody having paid for me to move over and everything. So, reading my mind or something, things got handled, and the ladies in the room plus Rita now have admin access to my blog. Basically, Cedar needs to change things because work magic elf box is my limit of computer stuff. Fucking work, you little bastard. So Cedar's going to be updating some stuff that needs to be updated, but Cedar and Kortnee and Jonna and Rita will be able to put blog posts up on the front page. What?
Like when you write something we think is particularly funny, but you haven't bothered to put it there yet.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because that's happened more than once where he's put something really, really interesting on Facebook or in a comment, some random place.
So they will be able to put up blog posts. So hopefully there'll actually be some content generated, because I've been really feeling really guilty about actually not putting up content, because running a business, and granted, I don't do that much. I believe that the actual order was stand out front and look pretty.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more involved in this than I was
thinking when you jumped into it with both feet.
Suspected, yes. So, and I haven't been in a good writing headspace. So, and hopefully they'll start putting some stuff up so you'll have something to read.
Well, I think my first brief is to fix the sidebar so that it displays all the books that you currently have out.
Yeah.
So people can buy them.
The amount of swearing at that sidebar has been impressive, because Jack said, don't worry about it. Just copy what I did. I tried. The magic elf box doesn't like me. That or the Kentucky Fried Chicken I sacrificed to it wasn't the proper variety. Anyway, because it's failed every time I've tried. However, Cedar is,
I've been doing WordPress for about 13 years now. So yeah.
so she can fix the sidebar where I just screw it up. The back button is handy when you're me. I know what the back button looks like.
Now, Jonna or Kortnee, or possibly both, have updated the Raconteur Press page so that it now reflects due dates for the upcoming anthologies, which includes all 3 of the Spurgle Chronicles.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we have many more coming, but we're not going to load up too many of them because we don't
Right.
want to be overwhelmed with
What?
stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's more
there's one
coming,
for me.
which includes the Yeet Cow Bible.
Yes.
But
And
it
we're already
is going
filling
to
up
take
2024, and
right.
Yeah.
we're not putting up the 2024 list until fourth quarter of 2023 because
You are always welcome to write a story for an anthology that you've heard us talk about, and then just hold on to it until we put out the submission opening. Because what we don't need is to wind up snowed under with stories that aren't due until 2024.
exactly.
While we're trying to deal with what's going on now.
Oh, on the Spurgle thing, I asked earlier, for those of you just getting here, I asked earlier for Spurgle limericks, and if you can't do a limerick, Spurgle haikus, because if we get enough, at least the first book in the Spurgle Chronicles, I will use the limericks and or haikus to separate the stories.
And send them to rackpressproduction@gmail.com.
Send them to rackpressproduction@gmail.com, and that's RACPRESS production.
Yes,
Andy, don't give it away.
What?
What?
Andy just said, so law dog, write them in the courthouse bathroom stall.
They have to finish redoing the courthouse first, because I don't want to write it in the bathroom stall and have somebody paint it as a court. Also, sharp-eyed folks will have noticed that a whole bunch of our Raconteur Press emails have changed. The anthology.malta@gmail submission still works for now.
It just forwards.
It just forwards.
Yeah, it's going
to
to
the
forward
proper,
to Rack Press. Because Jonna and Kortnee and Cedar are putting together an actual production line. So we all have emails now. I'm pretty sure I could find mine if I actually looked, but we all have emails now.
We'll hold your hand.
It's okay. We'll get you through this.
The submission guidelines remain the same. However, what we can do is we have a handy dandy graphic that Kortnee created, and that can be put onto the Raconteur Press page. So that you can easily refer to it whenever you want it. Because if you're anything like me, the thought goes in one side and out the other, and then you're left looking for it. Where did that go?
Raconteur Press has a Facebook page now.
Yes, Raconteur Press
we
has
do have
a
a
Facebook page. And
We've had one for a while.
There will be interesting announcements and tidbits there, so you should follow it.
It's been up for a while, but we're just now trying to get.
We're going live with it. So. We're going. John has been uploading content. I think Kortnee too. We're finally going live with it. We wanted to get it. We wanted to actually get some decent stuff on there before we went live. On the subject of stories, I would like to remind everybody that Raconteur Press's #1 rule still applies. It must be entertaining. All else is negotiable. Okay. If you have a good story and it's entertaining, we'll shoehorn it in somewhere.
Or
Don't send it
expand
yet.
how many anthologies we're doing.
That comes under shoehorning.
That's a good question. Does Frank get an email address with us?
Does Frank?
Well, I mean, because Frank, Twitter has all sorts of spies in it. Why couldn't Raconteur Press? So
I think I don't want to have to read what Frank gets in his email.
I need to build a cage for Frank beside Cecil's in the basement.
With a bar. Because he deserves a bar.
No, he should have a straight ethanol IV. There you go, Frank. Enjoy. Let's see. The short story right this second.
Good.
Okay, good. Ian's pretty face lays all the work as usual.
Oh,
Durr.
I want to say something.
Uh-oh.
I have to say this.
Uh-oh.
Jonna has an announcement.
I have a thing. So, considering our Raconteur road trip, did you know that hotels are supposed to have their elevators inspected every year, according to the county that a particular town is in.
Yes.
Do you know when they haven't done that and they get pictures of elevators like stopping 4 inches above the floor and stuff, that the building inspector goes out right away?
Really?
Yes. Did you know that the fines are in the high 4 digits for having elevators that are messed up? I wonder how Motel 6 found out about that.
FUCKEDAGAIN. Fucked again. Oi, oi. No. Sensible payback. No.
Okay, Pinup Noir coming soon.
Yes.
The information that will be coming out soon. Cats in Space. I don't know.
We
need to have that conversation.
Rita told me we are doing Cats in Space, but that's the last I heard.
Yeah. So, okay. If you have questions about stories like production schedules and things like that, you can actually email ragpressproduction@gmail.com and I will send you dates and information. So,
and we will include that email underneath the video. So if you're watching this and not live, it'll be right there ready for you.
Yes.
Well, and the great thing, having worked in county law enforcement for 26 years, is once an inspector shows up and you get hit with a hefty fine for health and safety violations,
they start looking.
The rest of the county health inspectors start showing up. Dun, dun, dun. It's like you just look up and it's like seeing the Indians on the horizon. Oh shit. Okay.
You would never be vindictive.
Really? I'm glad you didn't have a straight face when you said that.
Did you know when Travelocity contract management for working with hotels gets notified that a hotel has not represented itself honestly on their site, that potentially that hotel can be thrown off on the Travelocity system?
Oh, darn.
Did you know that when you own a hotel and you lie to the manager you're on the phone with, who happens to be on the phone with the other person who was there with the pictures, and say, no, everything's clean and beautiful, but you have in your possession pictures supplied by the person who was visiting the hotel, that you get caught up in having your contract canceled?
Oh no.
Goodness.
I'm glad to hear that they're happy with Mikado's progress.
Yes.
Okay, that's good news.
Yep.
And as far as the other thing goes, if it gets to be a big issue, let us know, and we can put the word out. So, time on target. Yes, indeed.
This is a proper time to use the word repeat. And for those of you who've been in the military, you know what I mean. Oh, let's see here.
one more thing.
She's a little spicy.
She is a little spicy.
It's a little crispy.
Did you know that when there's a group of there's a national corporation that franchises out their name to particular places, and they get a complaint about somebody's franchise with pictures about how they're wrecking the national corporation's reputation, that you get a call back and people talk to you for 20 minutes about what you experienced?
You were talking about winter earlier this year, stomping back in and going, and another thing.
Yes.
Splash over. Whoo.
Oh.
Did you know a new anthology?
Richard, hopefully that did get done. I will say that as a microbiologist, and I wasn't there, mind you, I would not want to be the one swabbing anything at that hotel.
No. Like I said, I'm me. I don't care. I saw a gigantic blood stain on the other twin bed and just curled up and went to sleep.
Did you know the franchisee finds that horrifying?
Really?
Yes,
No,
I
I'm
got
not.
that picture too.
I'm not in Africa anymore. Oh, look, bloodstains. Well, not in this one. That was funny because
Ain't my blood all good? Yes, that's about the.
not mine, not on this bed. Okay. It's not just hotels. Like I think it was last Tuesday or last Thursday. I was talking about the ranger that taught my crime scene investigation class. ranger in a big city, a retired big city forensic scientist. And for the UV crime scene photography, they took us to the local big city mattress store and turned on
boy.
the UV on the display mattresses. Don't ever buy display mattresses from a mattress store. Just okay. You can see patterns in UV, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Patterns and voids, and no. Actually, it was funny because the evidence collection class that I took was taught by a working detective in Hamilton, Ohio. And any of you that know Hamilton, Ohio, know why this is. Man had seen things. Not a nice area. But I actually got to teach him something because he was talking about collecting small bits of whatever. And you have to be careful when you collect evidence because it can't go in plastic because anything moist will mold. And
Don't ever put wet evidence in a plastic bag. It's always paper
Right.
bags.
so when I used to collect seeds for seed saving, because we did heirloom plants and whatnot, we used these little glassine envelopes, and I put him on to where to find those in bulk so that they could consider using those. But I mean, it goes through a process, so who knows whether it changed anything or not. The one that was entertaining was the guy in our class that was working towards his master's so that he could become the next step up in fire investigator. And he had some interesting stories.
I'll bet. On my last statement on the mattress thing, if you go in and ask the mattress store staff which is the best mattress for getting freaky on, trust their judgment. Moving on.
Not a
better with the
waterbed
ladies.
without baffles, because I think we've had that conversation. John is out of hearing range.
It's not the baffles, it's the bloody vegetable oil.
If your vegetable oil is
There's
bloody,
a reason that you don't use satin sheets, and it would be similar to the reason you don't use the vegetable
No,
oil.
vegetable oil gives you a sprained shoulder. Moving on.
No, momentum gives you a sprained shoulder.
No, gravity gives you a sprained shoulder. But vegetable oil helps. Moving on. The poor chat. They're never. Poor Frank.
I will note that a baffleless waterbed is a real problem when you have a very large husband who's drunk and falls over onto it and launches you.
That would be Eric.
yes.
Separated shoulder.
So there was a fun game thing at the first college I went to where I was actually going for a camping degree. So they were teaching us how to run summer camps.
Oh, okay.
And so, which meant I got to take classes and things like whitewater river rafting and ropes course and rock climbing. There's a reason I went to that college. But one of the fun games was this big blow up thing out on the lake, and you ran off this high jump and you bounced onto it, and somebody else sitting at the end of it would then get fling over to the lake. That was a lot of fun when you were 18 and not worried about things like separating shoulders.
Yes, but not at a small agricultural community college, because you get about 4 of them corn-fed farm boys land on one end. Low Earth orbit is achievable.
Yes, Richard
Wow.
Brown, you wouldn't want to use mineral oil because ingestion of that much mineral oil causes diarrhea.
Things you need to know. Only on the blanket floor.
I'm a cosmetic chemist. Of course I know these things, and I'm interested in food science.
So I like to, yikes.
Coconut oil stays solid until heated. It can be organic.
Buckle up, Frank. It's getting worse from here.
Mm-hmm.
Not vegetable oil, coconut oil. It's better for your skin
Coconut oil.
anyway.
Yeah, because I used to use that a lot in cosmetic chemistry.
Mhm.
I formulated a lot of things with coconut oil. And cocoa butter too, which smells good.
Frank's liver just checked out. Hey, Frank, did your liver leave a suicide note?
No, do not send us a 55-gallon drum.
Don't you
No.
friggin' dare. Don't you friggin' dare.
Although we can do an epic slip and slide with that.
Don't you friggin' dare.
Okay, but for the next Fool's Con, you could send one to Jim. 'Cause Jim,
Okay, for the next Fool's Con, you could send one to Jim.
Jim,
Okay.
Jim, 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 Jim,
No, you can send one to Jim. I will be out of blast radius when that thing arrives.
Oh.
Okay, if you have something that they delivered, you have to come with it so we can pelt you with it.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
No, we've never done phrasing.
You have to come with it. And there went his kidneys. Poor bastard.
Oh. Although the drum would come in handy because currently my son is making me a grill. And I sent my son
What is your issue with expanded metal? Just out of curiosity.
because it's rusty. The stuff he wanted to use is rusty as heck. And I'm looking at it going, I don't want to put food on that.
It's iron oxide. What's the issue?
Because it's my child and he's already not. I sent him like 4 different, this is how you build a grill with directions and plans and stuff. And he's already
Well,
going
there's
off
where you screwed
and
up.
doing his own thing.
Yeah, he was going to anyway. Why did you bother giving him plans? He's what, 17?
He's still 17.
He's got a welder?
Yes. And now a propane torch.
Just get out of the way.
He walked into my office and lit the propane torch. And all of the kittens went spastic and disappeared. There's something about the sound of a propane torch igniting that cats do not like at all. It's instinctive because I'm pretty sure these kittens have never heard a propane torch before, but something about click, click.
Yeah, propane torch. Burn off the rust, scrub it down, it'll be fine.
Okay, if you do that. I think Ben offered to bring me parts from his old grill, and those would work too. But yes,
James Copley's burn off the oxygen.
Would you anodize it?
I wouldn't, but
Yeah.
Cecil doesn't like the sound of propane torch either, but that's for different reasons.
But unlike the kittens, Cecil probably has experience with this.
He's a monkey. It's good for him. Built character.
No, the child has a job and he makes money and then he goes out and buys himself tools, which is why he walked in with a propane torch.
And that's
I
why
didn't buy
he's got
that
a
for
job.
him.
And he works at a place he can get propane fairly cheap.
Yes.
Oh boy, employee discount.
Yes. Well, okay. He alternates between making me nervous and driving me up the wall and walking in the door.
Teenage boy.
And walking in the door holding a rose with red roses blooming on it.
A teenage boy.
Because he brought me flowers.
Teenage boy.
Now, if I can get him to plant the flowers, we're good.
Going a little far, asking a little much. Thud. Here you go. Zoom.
That's what he did until I told him to take it away because the kittens were going to eat it. Because kittens.
I'm not seeing an issue here. I wonder if I train those kittens to attack monkeys.
Well, you can always come over and bring Cecil and see what we can do. Think of all the burnt stuff.
Fly, my little minions.
No, James, I don't think you understand. In my house, I'm the one that plays with fire. I cook on the grill.
Used to be.
Look, he has not mastered the art of grilling.
He's got a propane torch. You're not the only one playing fire anymore.
That's all right. I told him I'd teach him how to make creme brulee with it.
He's got an industrial one, if I know the boy.
Yes.
All right, then. All right, then.
Yes, creme brulee with a propane torch. Why not? I have a little butane torch, but that will do it. If you get it hot enough, anything will burn off. Well, the other problem is we're in Texas. It's dry. It's fire season, and
kidding.
I would just as soon not have him start a fire right in town.
Yeah, folks get a little twitchy about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's already going to have to burn out the barrel that he's cut in half to finish getting it cleaned and prepped.
Is he doing this at school or at your house?
At my house.
Well, even better.
Yes.
I will call the volunteer fire department.
Okay.
Be on standby, guys. 17-year-old, a propane torch. Every volunteer fireman within 3 counties. We're ready.
Dad was once a volunteer fire department because
You're in rural Texas.
yeah.
17 teenagers with propane torches is a normal thing.
Oh,
one
I
of those.
know. You know, I have to say though, for all that, right now he mostly is driving me up the wall, and I'm looking forward to him moving out and being on his own.
17-year-old.
I am really appreciating that we put him in the community college and that he's rubbing shoulders with these ranch kids. Several of his classmates are former military, which leads to some interesting conversations because he's thinking about going into the military. So I think he's got one guy that's trying real hard to talk him into going into the Marines. And I'm like, not having that argument.
No.
No. No.
He likes to eat food other than crayons.
Okay. You
I mean,
spoke.
we have the Marine buffet sitting right there on the table.
I like my friends who are Marines. I cannot see your son as one
No,
of
I
them.
can't see my son as a Marine either. When I was in the Civil Air Patrol, one of the guys was a cadet sergeant and refused to advance beyond cadet sergeant. He didn't want to be dealing with officer, even in the Civil Air Patrol. He didn't want to deal with officer. So when I wound up as deputy cadet commander, he was my first sergeant. And he was going to be fourth generation Marine. And he trained for it. And this kid was hardcore. I have no idea what happened to him. Unfortunately, I lost track of him. But you got shot by Jonathan LaForce?
Range day. It was a big thing.
I didn't even hear about that. Yes. Anyhow, that sidetracked me. Yes, you can't always tell a Marine.
Oh yeah.
But no. Bucky was a good kid, and I'm sure he went on to become a stellar Marine because that's what his family did, and it was a thing.
Back in the 80s, when everybody wore the same salad suit, and I was at Aberdeen Proving Grounds, I was bebopping along, happy as a clam at high tide, and saw somebody dressed in Mark 81 camouflage BDUs up a tree. And he was busy sawing a limb off a tree. And the only issue was trunk, guy in camo, saw. And I looked at this for a minute. I went, "Hey, Marine!" He went, "Sir!" That's what I thought, and kept going.
You know, I knew where that was going the whole time, and it doesn't make it any less funny. Happy as a clam and clamonaise. Oh, turn it so it's properly faced. There we go.
I think I just wiped out Kortnee.
I'm just thinking of the very smart people I know who would still do that.
You know, not only is this clamonaise, but according to this allergy warning label, it contains eggs, fish, specifically cod, and soybean. So not only does it contain clams, it's got some fish in there too.
Does that make it a salad?
Kelly, you're late. We've already pitched your book and talked people into pestering you for writing the actual story to go with Night at the Furry Convention.
Yeah, you're going to have to write Night at the Furry Convention, by the way.
This is what happens when you show up late to the live stream.
This does have cod in it. What the hell?
Clams and fish. I mean, I suppose it depends on what was in the clam.
They needed filler? For flavor.
No, we're not doing phrasing.
I thought we could just spill some out and surround it with spurglements and have quite the tableau.
Jim was threatening to make that into something the other day. I forget what now.
Mix it with ranch dressing, stir in some kippers, and use it for dip. No. Who's crazy enough to eat that? Not me.
Well, I can think of a couple of ways I could use that too, and it would be quite edible.
Kelly, for the gender bent joke, apparently Cedar wrote a gender bent version.
Do not open that in the shop.
It's got a seal on it. I know, I see that.
Do not open that in the shop. Give me the damn thing.
I want to make sure it's sealed.
Thank you.
Oh, we've managed to scare Kelly off. Jim's gonna get listen to this and disown all of us.
No kidding, right?
Problem with Jim disowning us is he never. I mean, it's not like we're family. He didn't have any choice in the matter.
Nope. Hey, Jim, does this washcloth smell like chloroform to you? Hey, we're here.
I have to say, having worked with chloroform and ether in the lab, that it doesn't actually work like that. Sadly,
hell no. I had a rant at Fantasy about stun guns and that sort of crap.
Well, first of all, it smells god awful, and you will know that something's not right long before they get that rag anywhere close to you. And
as soon as they pop the stopper on the jar, you go, "Hey, that's chloroform. What the fuck?"
And second of all, really, unless the dosage is just right, and trust me, you're going to be able to fight them off while they're trying to clamp this over your nose and mouth, then all you're going to wind up with is a splitting migraine, especially ether. Well, I hated working with ether.
American TV, when I was growing up, and we get to watch American TV once 1 month out of every 12, left me with a unrealistic expectation of what my adult life regarding quicksand, chloroform, that sort of thing would be.
Yeah, phone calls usually end up with crap gotta go. In my dad's case, when he was a medic, it was the tone on the radio was crap gotta go. As kids, we learned to read the tones and go get dad if he was out of range. Opening the jar of claminays and realizing you're holding a container of shug-off bait. I don't know that it would work as bait in its current form, but I'm sure if I mixed it with some agar, we could get things we could put onto hooks and catch interesting stuff with.
I never told you about the devil vomit that me and Matt Hamright made about 10 years ago.
You did not.
No. We took some illegal cheese, and there's a cheese that's not legal to take on the Parisian subway system because of how bad it smells.
I was going to say there are several different illegal cheeses. So
this one.
You've clarified.
Yeah, this one, Epoisé or something, I forget. Anyway, it's stinky cheese. And we put it in a blender to make sure that all the stinky was well
Stinkified?
Emulsified.
Oh, emulsified. Yes.
And then we took 5 pounds of dead shiners that had been sitting in Matt's backyard in the rain for 4 days, and threw that in there. And then something else. And it made this absolutely wonderful catfish bait. But every time we opened the jar, somebody would throw up. Great catfish bait, but oh my God.
The body, I was going to say, I'm sure they trashed the blender out of that after that.
You can blend pine salt. It doesn't work, but you can blend pine salt.
Well, I'm sure you can blend it.
Well, we thought we filled it half full of pine salt because we left that outside because Matt's wife was not letting it back in the house. And
I was wondering if there was a poor woman involved in this.
And we were doing something, I forget what, probably unethical. And the top of the blender, which I'd pressed down because the smell was bad, went pop in the Texas sunshine. So we went to investigate what made it pop.
Oh. They would like to know about dead shiners.
Dead shiners? Minnows.
Minnows.
Fat minnows. High fat content minnows.
And the fat just makes that worse when you emulsify them.
Oh yeah.
All those lipids.
So we dumped half a thing of pine salt, holding our breath, dumped half a thing of pine salt in it and flipped it over to agitate. Might have been blender fire. Anyway, we put it on high and blew pine salt and stinky bits all over the yard. And never...
Oh.
I can just see this happen.
Oh.
Blew stinky bits and pine salt all over the yard and never really did get the smell out. And I'm told, because we were forbidden to put it in the dumpster, I'm told that the lady at the city dump that saw us go by holding the various bits at arm's length and wearing respirators didn't even bother to weigh us. She just waved us through.
Brian, until they added the pine sol, it probably would have been good for the grass. After the pine sol, not so much.
I'm sure they do anything for the smell. But seriously, if you've just made devil's vomit stink bait and you press the lid down on your blender and it sits in Texas sunshine for 4 days and it goes, don't go check. Just don't go check. You're going to regret it.
Oh,
Just
yes. I think
hit
Ian,
it with a hose from 10 feet away and call it good.
I think Ian just may have quantified the smell or taste of spurgle mints. Pine sol, stinky cheese, and dead bait. That could work.
Spurgle mints blowing chunky bits all over the backyard. Overly specific but useful advice. What's overly specific?
That pine sol doesn't work for that.
It doesn't. It smell's not going to go away. And your best friend's long-suffering wife will just point. Like, okay.
Oh, spurgle mints brings blowing chunks to a whole new level.
One of the great things about working for a sheriff's office is inmate workers, trustees, because when you're working the midnight to 4 shift for extra pay, what you're going to get is a bunch of drunks. You're going to be arresting drunks, especially Friday, Saturday night from the midnight to 4. You're getting drunks, and inevitably, one of them will be playing to Ralph the entire way. And it's a great thing to be able to walk inside and say, I need a trustee to clean out my cruiser.
Okay, that is a good thing, because
Yep.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with that.
A trustee can do it. I consider that paying his debt to society.
Mm.
Oh, dear. Spurgle mints, when you want to gag a skunk. Nope, there's absolutely no gagging risk with spurgle mints whatsoever. Okay, so is there anything that we haven't talked about, oh God, that we need to mention before we sign off?
Oh, I should probably mention I've started the covert cover versions of my books.
Yes. Kortnee is starting to put out new covers for some of her
For the
alien
romance.
brides, some
Yeah.
of her alien romance books. You should check them out.
Sneaky smut covers.
Yes.
The first one's up already. Well, it'll be out tomorrow. So, releasing it for my birthday.
If you like to read smut, but you don't want Great Aunt Helen knowing what you're reading, buy these covers.
Yeah, and they're 5x8, so the usual 6x9. So they're smaller. You can hide them. It's a bit in the pocket.
So you can hide them.
Yes.
You've been thinking about this.
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm putting some out that don't have the naked man chest. It's just tasteful backgrounds. They're pretty.
They're still blue.
They're still blue. I didn't go away from the blue.
No, you have a look. You should stay with a look.
I am just not going there. Okay. If you
Yeah.
don't want to know, read it on Kindle.
Yeah, that is one thing, unless you share your Kindle account with your husband, in which case he will want to know what the heck you have been reading right now, and did you have a reason for that, and what was that book with the no, I don't think I want to know, actually. Sorry.
If you buy it on Kindle,
Mhm.
you're reading it, Frank's reading it, and Frank, depending how drunk he is sharing it with his buddies.
As long as they pay for it, I don't care.
Right.
Ooh, me, mercenary now.
Invisa smut, camo smut, pocket smut. I like pocket smut.
Pocket smut works.
Pocket
soap
smut.
I got an ad for earlier.
Pocket smut, a subdivision of Raconteur Press. It pays. It pays well.
At a writing workshop one time, part of the writing workshop was we had to talk about business plans and stuff. So we were supposed to come up with a business name and a logo for the business. And my logo for the business was a peach, and the name of the publishing company was going to be Gently Pressed. And the lady running the workshop was like, Cedar? She didn't know me that well.
There's a reason why publishing in print is Aphrodite's Pearl.
Seriously.
Foxy Fables, a subdivision of Raconteur Press.
That could go so many different ways. Just when I thought I couldn't love Cedar anymore, huh? Woo!
Speaking of 50-word shorts, we will be doing a postcard challenge for FoolsCon, which means that will be open for submissions again as of April 14th. And you can reach out to one of the 3 moms of the apocalypse for an image prompt. Not that kind of image, because Midjourney doesn't do those.
They have really good imaginations. That's all I'm going to say. Apparently, when this chat goes off the rails, it stays off the rails. Yes, Silver Tiger, you ain't lying.
Yes. Click the like button.
And don't forget to subscribe to the if you're not
Subscribe,
already.
and if you click on the bell, you'll get the little bell with the ding-a-ling. That's the all notifications. So in theory, YouTube will actually let you know when we have a new one. In theory.
In theory. Did I tell you they don't do those? What?
Not sure I followed. Where we going? We don't need rails.
That's common saying around here. Probably should be a button. Oh, speaking of, if you haven't gone to see the Dungeons & Dragons movie and you're a tabletop role-playing game fanatic, you need to go see the movie.
Ian's impression of the dragon was hilarious.
There are some minor gripes, which I managed to overlook in the simple joy I had in watching that movie. So, yeah, go if you like Dungeons & Dragons or tabletop role playing, go see the movie. Chalk Dragon, no kidding. That was anyway. Anything before we sign off?
Can't think of anything. They look quiet, so let's
They're thinking.
let's slip away while the chats.
They're really making me nervous. Okay, we're out of here. Y'all be safe. Don't do and do the gym thing, and we will see you Tuesday when Jim will be back. Y'all take care.
Bye now.